On Sunday, the death was announced of the legendary German striker Gerd Müller at the age of 75. Müller is regarded as one of the game's greatest ever centre-forwards. He won the European Championship in 1972, the World Cup in 1974 with West Germany, scoring in both finals. And with Bayern Munich, he won the European Cup 3 times and he scored 547 goals in 594 games for Bayern. Brian, just for viewers maybe who didn't see him, put his achievements and those numbers maybe speak a little bit for themselves into context, even context of the modern great strikers we have in the game today. Well,
68 goals and 62 internationals is something else, and that was before we had a lot of the smaller countries who you know, the likes of Andorra, San Marino, Liechtenstein, Gibraltar. The teams that some strikers get a lot of goals against now weren't in football at that time. He was playing against very strong countries, and when he got to the finals, he got 10 goals in the 1970 World Cup. They were beaten in the semi-final. He got 2 goals in the semi-final, but you know that was only so it would have been 5 games. He was an extraordinary player. Even those little pictures there, like my image of him when I was a young fella myself was this kind of smallish enough fella who was extraordinary in the air, unbelievably athletic, powerful tyres, Tommy, and a strong butt, I just said. And he was brilliant at swivelling and scoring goals in the box where the defenders were close to him, and he used that lower power. The body he had, the ability to keep fellas off with his bum, I'd say. And he was a deadly finisher, powerful strikes, marvellous anticipation. Played hundreds of games. I mean, he played 607 games for Bayern Munich. At a time, he was probably the one most of anyone that brought Bayern Munich along to the levels we associate him with now. When he started playing at Bayern Munich in '68, they were in the 2nd division in Germany.
That's what I didn't actually realise that before him and Beckenbauer and all those guys, they weren't the big force that they were to become.
No, they weren't. I mean, I can remember Borussia Mönchengladbach at that time with the team, but he, not him alone, but it was his goal scoring and his ability to do it in the big matches. He did it in the finals of the competitions. He did it in the cup finals. He did it in the big league games, in the massive international matches. The World Cup final, I remember his goal against Holland. It was called Holland then. Now we have to call it Netherlands. But he scored in the World Cup final when they won. 74 they won. Yeah, it was 1970. He got the 10 goals. But he was an extraordinary goal scorer, all sorts of goals in the box. Most of his goals were in the box, and he was just a brilliant player. And you know, he's the highest goal scorer of all time in Bundesliga. He still has that. Lewandowski beat his record last year.
So many of his records have lasted until relatively recently, which is kind of shows how it stands the test of time. His greatness. Gerd Müller, whose death was announced on Sunday.